Real values are expressed in constant prices and are unobserved, but rather are calculated from nominal values. This distinction between nominal and real applies to a wide array of economic variables. GDP, income, wages, wealth, the money supply, and interest rates. The real variables have significance in that efficient economic decision-making should be based on real values, not nominal values, because real values express the true economic impact. So how are variables' real values calculated? Price indices can be used to calculate real values. Examples of price indices are the Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, and the Producer Price Index, or the PPI. Each of these price indices is calculated by dividing the current cost of a market basket of goods and services by the cost of the market basket in a given base year. Therefore, the CPI and the PPI work by assuming a fixed market basket of goods and services, allowing them to reflect only changes in prices over time. Therefore, increasing price index numbers represent inflation. More specifically, the percentage change in a price index over time reflects the inflation rate. Price index numbers can then be used to calculate real values of variables by adjusting nominal values of those variables to control for inflation. For instance, nominal GDP can be divided by the price index to calculate real GDP. Therefore, real GDP reflects changes in output over time with prices held constant. A difficulty with using a fixed market basket for the CPI and the PPI is that changes in buying patterns over time are obscured. For instance, consumers will shift away from a good whose price has increased disproportionately. In addition, quality changes over time are obscured. Economists frequently prefer using the GDP deflator, which is the ratio of nominal GDP to real GDP. This percentage difference in GDP can then be attributed to price level changes over time. The GDP deflator has the advantage of measuring price level changes over time using actual purchases of goods and services, unlike the CPI, which assumes a fixed market basket of goods and services. In other words, in calculating the GDP deflator, nominal GDP is calculated using actual prices and actual quantities from the given year, while real GDP is calculated using constant prices, but still the actual quantities from the given year. Therefore, instead of using a fixed market basket of goods and services, the GDP deflator uses the actual quantities of goods and services that were purchased in a given year. In summary, real values of variables control for price changes over time, which makes them better indicators of true economic impact. Now let's do some problems to get practice with real and nominal values.